Shalom, shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem HaKadosh, and double honors unto the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, a salutations to the hopeful elect, the men of Great Millstone that stand so stiffly on the highways and the byways, and the brothers that teach the likewise doctrine. This is a brother Rabbi Yamya here to share our lesson. Lord will end this lesson, be edifying unto the elect. And put the article that you see before you, the heading by clever dude, published by Brandon Marcus. It says why cash withdrawals limits are changing across America. And I experienced a cash withdrawal change a few weeks ago. I didn't pay much mind to it, but usually outside of my particular bank, I get a withdrawal limit of 200 a day. Not 200 a day, so it's like a 400 a day. But when I went to use the ATM, it was reduced by half the amount to 200 a day. And I found that surprising, you know what I mean? Because historically, I've always been able to use 400 a day, while some other banks, they have a higher limit like 500 or 600 a day. You understand? So when I read this article, it made sense with the changes that they are making. Right, there's going to be a more push for a digital, more digital transaction. So instead of, I read the whole article, and instead of reading it from top to down, I just want to get to the point and read this section right here. It says, this heading, it says, what customers notice when ATM limits change. All right, and check this out carefully. When you're reading these articles, you have to really read it with the eyes open and understanding, because he'll throw some stuff out there and you know what I mean. It says many people first notice withdrawal limit changes when an ATM suddenly refuses a large transaction. The screen may display a message explaining daily caps or reduced limits set by the bank. This often creates confusion, especially for those who rarely check account settings. It says customers sometimes assume the ATM malfunction rather than recognizing a policy update. These moments highlight how quietly financial institutions implement changes, right? And they're going to introduce it incrementally, because they don't want the people to lash out. They'll make small changes here and there. Yes, it would be an inconvenience, but it wouldn't be enough to cause an uproar onto the people until the last minute, until they get to the agenda. You understand? It's kind of like like a snake. Though it may be far away, you're not really threatened by it. Then when it get a little closer, you might be a little concerned. But when it gets really close to you, and it could stomp on you, bite you, and poison you, that's where the real danger and death begins. You understand? So they make subtle little changes, right? But check this out. It says banks often vary limits based on account tiers. So it's classism involved in it now, which adds another layer of surprise for customers. Premium account, meaning the wealthy, may allow higher withdrawals, while basic, meaning the poor, UJICs, right, Latinos, Native Indians, while basic accounts face stricter caps. Some banks also adjust limits based on geographic location or fraud limits in specific areas. So when they really implement this digital system, and these are 15-minute cities, they're going to make sure that whatever it is you do with your paycheck is going to be, you're going to have access to only the hood. You understand? You ain't gonna be able to go here and there and travel like you used to, right? They're gonna limit your traveling, and they're gonna limit how, when, and where you spend your money. You understand? It says customers traveling between regions may experience different restrictions without prior noticing. These variations reflect how flexible banking systems have become in managing risk, and they are the one that doing the fraud. All right. Um, they do these things to coerce people to get them ready for a digital system, right? So they reduce the amount that they can withdraw the ATMs, and even when you go to your bank and let's say you about to do some work to your house or whatever, or car repair or whatever, and you need some money, they send you through the ringer just to give you your own cash, you know? Next heading, it says, behind the withdrawal limit change. It says cash withdrawal limits continue shifting because banking systems now prioritize security, efficiency, and digital transformation at the same time. Fraud prevention remains the highest driver, but reduced cash also plays a major role. Yeah, so they want to get people used to that digital society that's coming. All right, let's see. Let me read on a little bit. It says the ATM still matters, but it no longer stands at the center of daily life. What changes in ATM access has stood out the most in daily life, and how have those shifts affected his cash habits, right? So they're getting ready to phase out the ATM machines, but they won't tell you is to get people ready for the new world order, which is going to be a cashless society, right? And one of the devices that they're gonna use is the implantable device, which is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip under your skin. All right. The shift toward digital banking reduces cash demand. It says digital banking continues to change how people handle everyday transactions. Mobile payments, online transfers, and tap to pay system reduce the need for physical cash in many situations. As usage shift, banks reassesses how much cash they keep available at ATM branches. And people have found out that these banks they operate on a system called fractional reserve banking, where they loan out most of the money in forms of digital credits on a screen, but the physical money in the bank is less. If every person were to go and take out their total amount from their accounts, is going to be a bank run. They're going to shut the bank down, right? And that is a fraud that they perpetuate. It's a fraudulent system. Here it is, you only have a certain amount of money in the bank, but you have loaned out a profit at interest more than 10 times what is in the physical vault. And they are telling you about fraud and fraud prevention and all this other stuff, and reducing your daily limits. So you see how all this man is the devil? You understand? And this is targeted to the younger generation because you don't see them running to the ATM to handle business to get some cash. It says younger consumers especially rely on digital wallets and card-based payments instead of paper money. You understand? So it's targeted toward them because they are less likely to question this stuff, right? So all of this plays part to their new world order. I just want to share one script here and close it out. So you need to keep your eye on Esau, man. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this trickery, right, this device, right, by policy or by law to restrict people withdrawal access or daily limit or caps, is a push for more digital currency and less reliance on cash, less and anonymity, right? And is also part of their surveillance program with a digital trail, right? They can know everything you purchased or bought or spent on with digital money. But with cash, they don't know. All they know, the only transaction is the withdrawal that was made. You understand? So heavy surveillance is also, and digital tracking is also part of the new world order plan under the implantable device, the mark of the beast, the MOTB, the RFID microchip. So these things are coming, man. So when you see these things, know that this is what they are planning. They may tell you fraud and all this other stuff, but they are the ones that is committing, most of the fraud. So keep your eyes open and be circumspect to Esau's changes, and his policies that he is definitely making in the, the financial institute. And also at the same time, pray and ask the Most High for your daily bread and ask him for the strength to let this thing go, to let it go, and let your life in this world go when the hour of temptation cometh upon you, so that you and your household may be spared, right, from sin. I just wanted to share this quick update to the elect. Until the next time, I say shalom to you all. Shalom.